for those of you that are subscribed over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the November of 2020 Virgo Tarotscope. So this is a broad spectrum reading for all the sun, moon, and risings in the sign of Virgo that may watch this video. If you are a crosswalker, that's fully acceptable. If you care for a Virgo or want to see what a Virgo in your life might be experiencing, you're certainly more than welcome to watch this for them. If any love comes up, then if you have a Venus in Virgo, you may want to watch this. And if anything doesn't make sense or doesn't seem to fit in your life, that's completely fine. It doesn't mean that anything's wrong. You just might be working on something different. So you know that. You have to kind of, figure out where these cards apply in your life and the things that I describe. I kind of keep them broad for a reason so that it will reach and make sense to the most amount of people. So let's see what's going on for Virgo. If you enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe over on my YouTube channel, and vice versa. If you're watching over on YouTube, feel free to go ahead and head over to Facebook and hit the like button on my business page at Facebook. Oh, thank you, Marita. Thank you for the share. So this month, the cards that I'm using for the sort of signifier for the month are from the Soul's Journey Lessons cards by James Van Praagh. I put these out with the earth signs because I just felt like something about the word journey and the earth signs made sense. It just felt right. So this was the deck that I chose to use with the earth signs. If you're a Virgo, a Capricorn or a Taurus, I just did those. And the water signs and fire signs are done. You have to go to the channel to watch the live broadcast of them or to the business page. So, all right, this first card is like sort of the signifier or the card Sherpa, so to speak, for the month of November. This is the card that is sort of something to reflect upon, ground in, look upon, focus on throughout the month. Could signify a theme for the month for the Virgos. Let's see what's going on. Oh, wow. This card is back out. This came up for Capricorn, Virgo. So this is, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Let me look at this for a moment. All right, I'm going to say this. I feel like, and maybe it's because Scorpio is complementary to the earth signs, there's a lot of water energy in the cards for both Capricorn and for Taurus. I don't want to predict too much for Virgo until we see the cards, but this death card definitely signifies, even though this isn't, a traditional tarot deck, it's an oracle deck, but death energy is very much about transformation and cycles, which is Scorpio energy, and we are in Scorpio season. So I feel like maybe, and it might be this, full moon coming up on Halloween, and I believe it's a blue moon or a blue corn moon, I can't remember, but it is a kind of significant full moon too. And Scorpio is such a sort of weird, transformative, psychic sign. I have a feeling that my earth signs are going to get exposed, and I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, like, you guys are going to get the full exposure to the heaviness of the energy that's happening. That's the feeling, because this showing up twice, both in Capricorn and in Virgo, and it being so synonymous with Scorpio energy, makes me feel like pay attention. And I don't mean this in a bad way. Like, I know that death has a negative connotation. I feel like this is transformative energy. I feel like this is like getting the most for our money in the month of November. Be willing to let go of whatever needs to be let go of, right? Be willing to sort of ride the wave and see where it takes you. That's kind of the feeling that I get from this. I feel like this is an opportunity. We need to look at it as such. Don't resist. That would be another thing that I would say, and this also could go for anybody that might be watching that also viewed Capricorn. To me, there's a flexibility here. There's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we can't dodge death, right? In the sense that it's something that affects each and every one of us. We all have to, come in contact with it at some point, and it's inevitable. And so to me, it's the same thing with, sort of cycles in nature, life, energy. It's always constantly evolving and changing. We have to allow for the transformation to take place. And so this death to me is about learning to have and experience those transformations and kind of come in line with them and to deal with them gracefully versus struggling against them. Now, when I think about like my earth signs, you guys tend to want to be stable. You want to be the productive ones. You are good at that. That is your energy. You are earth, material-based beings that know how to manifest, good jobs, financial abundance, doing things in the right way for the right reason. That's sort of like the tenets that I sort of attribute to the Virgos, Capricorns, and Taurians, right? This death card to me speaks to this idea that like we can't always control everything, guys. And so this might be the month where we have to let go of some of that control and just see what rolls out, if that makes any sense. So let's see, and that may not be the most comfortable position for the earth signs to be in, but it's going to be the position that's going to serve us the best. And it's going to teach us about, what's important, what we want to hold on to, what we want to keep, what we don't, that kind of a thing. So let's see, what is Virgo for November of 2020? Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do they need to know? All right, so this center card tells me a little bit about where the Virgos are going to be centered at in the month of November. You will be in and out of this energy all throughout the month, but it is somewhere where, as you center in this energy, it can give us insight into not only what you'll be experiencing, but what you can also be potentially creating for the future. So this is the Ten of Wands. So Ten of Wands is the element of fire and the spirit. Good card. Tens are always completions for ourselves and the environment around us. To me, when I look at this being in the center and it being wands, and we look at the redness of this death card, wands being the element of spirit and fire, boom, and completion, and death being a sense of completion, there is cycles that are coming to an end. The Ten of Wands is also about kind of letting down a burden or letting go of a burden, finally sort of coming to terms with it, carrying it for as long as we can, and sort of no longer fighting it and just sort of releasing it and moving on to something new. That's the castle that you see in the foreground, right? There's an opportunity here, there's a desire, there's an ability to take action with the suit of wands, right? The element of wands that allows us to kind of close up the chapter, allow the death to take place, allow ourselves to look to the horizon, allow ourselves to look at how do we redefine this, how do we change this, what's more in line with our spirit and our true nature, what makes sense to us, right? This is the first card where it's not been either your home element or your complementary element of the earth signs. You guys are dealing in the fire energy this month. So I just want to note that because I think that might be significant as we see other cards. And I also think that there's something, because this is wands, it speaks to the idea of allowing the spirit to lead and take that action when I feel like that may not necessarily always be the most comfortable for Virgo, because Virgo wants to keep things sort of safe, steady, controllable, that sort of a thing. And I think that when I look at this and it being a fire energy, it's about learning about something that is not sort of foreign to us, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind moving through the month of November. It won't necessarily, doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that it's teaching us an aspect of self that we're not necessarily fully familiar with or is our most comfortable way of being. But as we do this, or as we practice this and we learn it, as we allow old cycles, habits, patterns to die, new ones emerge, right? And new awarenesses, new alignments, new spiritual sort of pursuits or perspectives come in on this Ten of Wands. We release and let go of whatever it is that we don't need, and we start to look to new horizons, perspectives, ideas, opportunities, that sort of a thing. So this is the theme for, or sort of the focus, and where you're going to be centered at is what can I sort of shed, what can I let go? And I use this analogy on Capricorn too. It's taking me, when I just said the word shed, it makes me think of that snake shedding its skin. At the end of the Capricorn reading, that flashed in my mind, and I see that a little bit here too. I just feel like this may be a little bit deeper for the Virgos, this being the Ten of Wands as the lead out card, it being the element of spirit. there's a depth to this that feels a little bit more intense than say what Capricorn may be dealing with this month, if that makes sense. All right, so let's get into the next card, which is the Foundation. The Foundation tells me a little bit about from the past what led everything to be the way that it is today. It's also the memory of this card that can sort of like hold everything in place or be driving everything forward. Okay, I like this. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Get it? You couldn't get any more Virgo than that, to be honest. So Pentacles is your guys' home element. I love that this is your foundation. I think that this being such a strong court card in your foundation is what it allows you guys to challenge yourself through this Ten of Wands energy in the month of November. Does that make sense? So because we have this solid base and awareness of who we are, and this Queen of Pentacles, she is not only like Pentacles, right, which is earth energy, material wealth, gain, productivity, all of that sort of stuff, right? Balance, grounding, all of that sort of stuff. She can also be sort of divine feminine. That sort of energy is the foundation. There's been times in the past where we've been the breadwinner, we've taken care of ourselves, we've been able to nurture ourselves, we've gotten ourselves to a point where we've been successful, whatever it is that we need to be, that now we can sort of challenge ourselves to sort of pursue some of the goals that come through this Ten of Wands. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are connecting to this reading because it is kind of a little bit, this Ten of Wands makes me feel like you guys are stretching yourselves a little bit further in the month of November than you maybe are used to, right? But I think that the Queen of Pentacles speaks to this idea that you guys became very adept at whatever it was, at whatever it was that you were doing in the past. So that like the challenge is now to okay, where do I take this? What more can I create? And through that, there might be some hardship that you've been experiencing leading up till this time now. That's the releasing of it, the closing of the chapter of the Ten of Wands. But as we do that, we grow ourselves in ways that is different than we have in the past. Does that make sense? I hope that resonates with you guys. Now the next card is the Spirit or Soul card. This tells me where your spirit or soul is at and what it is working on, what it wants for you. So this is the Knight of Swords. I don't know if that's really in focus, but all right, my Virgos, don't jump to any conclusions. This month is kind of the feeling. Try not to rush things. I also want to say that too. I feel like that Knight of Swords looks like he's ready to get up and get on out and head into the future and get it going on. But the Queen of Pentacles, even though she's in the past and she's facing the past, she sort of keeps us grounded, right? The memories of who we are, what we were, what we could do, what we can accomplish, those things are what we're grounded in, or what sort of, that strength is sort of what's driving us to this sort of pursuit through this Ten of Wands experience, right? This release of something that's no longer working for us and this expansion of spirit, or this, how do I describe this? It feels like we're growing in ways that we've not grown before. The Knight of Swords to me is about excitement, is about the intellect, is about the thought, is about, you know, to me, I look at him and he looks like he's ready to go, right? But this being in the higher self space, to me, I feel like this is like, don't let our minds run wild, right? Our spirit is telling us like, be careful, don't charge too quickly. Don't like allow this process to take place. And the reason why I say that is because I get pulled back to this Death card. There's a cycle here, and I'm seeing again this damn snake in my mind's eye, where the snake is, what is it called? The Ouroboros? Look up Ouroboros, you guys. It's this, I don't even know where the image comes from. I just learned about it probably last year, but it's, I don't know what culture it comes from, but it's a snake that kind of goes in a full circle. It's sort of like the Wheel of Fortune. This is getting really weird. All right, so what I feel like is the Knight of Swords is saying in the higher self spaces, yes, be excited. Yes, be enthusiastic. But maintain a certain like composure, service, responsibility to yourself, to allow yourself to go through the process, if that makes sense. Honoring the past, honoring who you are, all of the like sort of capabilities. That's the beautiful like Queen of Pentacles in the foundation. Honoring those skills and all of that, and challenging yourself through this Ten of Wands to continue to grow in different ways. Does that make sense? Yes, there may be challenges this month for Virgos. Yes, there may be endings for this month for Virgos in different areas of your life. But these endings, these releases, these closing of chapters, this Ten of Wands energy is growing you towards other things. There's other opportunities on the horizon. There's other skill sets to be learned, so to speak. This Queen of Pentacles will also help us moving forward into the future. That energy, that ability, which is also driving in the foundation, the memory of our skill set and how they've served us in the past and where we've been successful, will do us really a big service moving forward. But we want to, like, I don't know why, but with this Ten of Wands in the center and that Death card, it feels like we want to honor the processes we are in this month. Like, don't take them for granted. And that's the Knight of Swords. I feel like he wants to get up and go and is excited about the change that could be taking place and transpiring. But I feel like the Spirit is reminding us that that's great to want to be in service. There's strength and servitude and honor with the Knight, certainly, but don't rush off just yet. Let this process really unfold. That's also the steadiness of the Queen of Pentacles down below. I feel like she grounds us to some degree. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to my Virgos. So balance this earth and this air and experience sort of this fire that we have to go through in this closing of chapters in the month of November. All right, the next two cards are the outside influences. These can be people, sometimes events. They can be things more vague, like belief systems or energies that are having an effect on you either positively or negatively in the month of November. We should just be made aware of them. So let's see what they are. One is the Knave of Chalices. Now, he showed up in Taurus's reading, but he was on the other side. I feel like he is coming to us to help us. Now, this can represent a person of the cups or the water element, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. It can be male or female, doesn't necessarily matter. Usually a youthful person. Doesn't have to always be a person. It can be sort of an energy. It can be an emotional energy that maybe is having an effect on us. But it usually has like an optimism, a youthfulness, an enthusiasm. Sometimes it can be an offering of love, that sort of a thing. Usually it's kind and warm, that sort of an energy, but it can have an emotional aspect to it. Let me just look at this for 1 minute. How is he coming in here? Why? I'm not really, to be honest, I'm kind of drawing a blank on this knave. I'm not sure what his gig is. What are you doing there? I don't get a bad feeling from this card in the sense that I don't think he's a threat of any kind or anything that we need to be super aware of. I think he's here to help. I think, though, I almost get this funny feeling from this knave that the help that we may receive may not be sufficient this month. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like it's well-intentioned, right? Wherever it comes from, be it family, friends, partners, wherever we're at, right? If the help that's coming in isn't quite mustering or leveling up, answering the call, it's because I feel like this Ten of Wands is like, this is a call that only we as the Virgos can answer. I'm not a Virgo myself, but I say we as a collective. It's like the Ten of Wands really is, it's like you're going on your own journey this month in a way. It's interesting too because the Knave showed up in Taurus, and Taurus ended on the Hermit energy, which is Virgo energy. All right, so let me look at the other outside influence. Maybe this will make more sense. Okay, we have the Eight of Wands. So this is fast-moving energy. Sometimes this can be about moving towards love. For some of my more single Tauruses, there could be an opportunity for love here, especially with the Page of Cups and the Eight of Wands on either side is outside influence. But I don't feel like that's like the big read here. The big read here to me is about this Eight of Wands feels like situations maybe outside of our control, situations that might be happening rather quickly, situations that are requiring quick response time or answers. It could represent letters or especially with this Knave of Cups coming on the other side too, there could be sort of letters, or this is so weird, I don't know why I'm saying letters arriving, but I feel like there could be letters or information arriving that sort of maybe challenge us or that we didn't see coming. I don't get a feeling that the Eight of Wands or the Knave of Chalices are negative per se. I feel like what they do is they're almost pushing us towards this Ten of Wands. They're pushing us towards quick responses, making these decisions. That's also the Knight of Swords energy up above. We're going to want to be quick. We're going to want to be sort of like analytical and think it through and chop, like go, do it, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from these cards. But we don't, I also think that there is this Queen of Pentacles down in the foundation speaks to this idea of when things get a little bit wonky, go back to that Queen, right? Ground in what you know, in the practicality, in your earthy energy. Don't let sort of like your nerves get the best of you. Let me see here. I just feel like that Eight of Wands requires us to move quickly and to think on our feet, which we can do. But I also just feel like there's an ineptitude. There's something, I can't quite put my finger on it. I want to say I don't think these things are out to harm my Virgos. I feel like with everything that's going on in these cards, I sort of get this sense that I want my Virgos to be not on the alert, but just aware. Stay as grounded as you can as things move and change, as things get offered up. This Eight of Wands and this Knave of Chalices, coupled with this Death card too, speaks to this idea that things could come out of left field for you guys, right? Where you're not necessarily sure, like you didn't see it coming, right? You're like, oh shit. And that's okay. That's this Queen of Pentacles. I sort of feel like her energy sort of grounds you and enables you to deal with this stuff. The Knight of Swords allows you to think quickly if you need to, but also be, sort of, what's the word, like loyal, responsible, all of those things that sort of the Knight represents, and make your decisions clearly. Because these decisions all revolve around the ending or this Ten of Wands, this burden being completed or unloaded, released, let go. And that's this Death card where we realize that the things that we have to let go of are really only merely just beginnings to the next thing that's coming that's going to grow us in a different way. And we can kind of take heart in the fact or rest in the strength of what the Queen of Pentacles offers us, which is the awareness of our past, our abilities in the past to manifest and maintain and all of that. I get the sense that we can sort of utilize that to kind of be our rudder to the boat as we move through the changes that may happen in November. All right, I hope that makes sense. I know that's a little bit esoteric, but that's kind of what I'm feeling. This sort of is taking me out there. And remember, like I said at the very beginning, Scorpio is this, sort of sex, death, regeneration energy or transformation energy. Things, we want them to change. We want the wheel to spin. We want these things to kind of challenge us and transpire and change us in some way. Embrace this change and allow it to sort of take place. Standing in the strength of like sort of, what maybe was familiar and worked in the past, we still have that at our disposal if need be, but we also get to sort of challenge that and change that and grow that, and that's sort of the gift that takes place in this time frame. All right, the next card is the potential outcomes. This tells me where the Virgos may all potentially end up, barring that nothing major changes. So if this card is negative, we can take heart in the fact that we can make choices and changes to affect the outcome so that it doesn't have to come to pass. Nothing is set in stone, right? We have free will. So, but if this card is a good card and we want to see it come to pass, we can take heart in the fact that it's naturally coming to us and we don't have to do much other than just, be willing to sort of release things as they need to be and grow along with those releases. So let's see what we've got. Hey, Tallulah. Oh, I love it. All right, so we've got the Justice card. And I'm not sure what astrological sign she's associated with. Let me look it up really quick because I'm drawing a blank. Justice is always about, hold on one second. astrological connection to the Justice card in Tarot. Not Tarot, you ding dong. Sorry guys, I'm just looking this up. I know I'm doing this live, but I can't really remember. Libra, okay, which we just left. All right, so I should have known that because she's holding the scales and she has the element of air with that sword. All right, so this is associated with the sign of Libra, which is the sign that we just left, right? Justice always represents sort of well-being in legal matters. It could represent divorce. It could represent a truth or an awareness coming to light. And that's from a very basic standpoint. To me, I always feel like she brings what's right with her by the month's end. She will bring this sort of air and awareness, this element of understanding. I like that. The interesting thing to me is she feels like the blending of this Queen of Pentacles energy as the foundation and the Knight of Swords, right? She has this sword here. I feel like she is that energy. She is that sort of grounded because she has this pillar here, right? Which is that Queen of Pentacles sort of earthiness that is natural to the Virgos. And then we have the Knight of Swords up there. It's sort of like she is this nice, powerful blend. She is Major Arcana, so it will be a good ending of the month. It will be an impactful ending of the month, but don't be surprised if, like, I don't know, truths become revealed. If there are some Virgos, if there are any Virgos out there going through a divorce right now, I'm just gonna say, don't worry, you'll be fine. That's my feeling. When I'm looking at these cards, just because it ends on this Justice card. So from a very practical sense, especially with the Ten of Wands in the center, it speaks to the closing of chapters. So that could represent like as a departure or divorce for some of you. Don't act too quickly, even if things are moving quickly or people are acting stupid like that Page of Cups on the outside of you. Don't let those things get under your skin. Remain cool, calm, and collected, and you can get to this Justice card and understand the truth, know the truth, stand in your own truth personally, whatever that may be for you this month. And also, you're not going to be, for anything that does die away this month, as far as like cycles, situations, relationships, anything that we have to release and let go and let it transform, allow it to, because I feel like the Justice card, she's that air of intellect and that balance of Libra, that detachment of the air element. To me, I feel like she is of benefit, right, to my Virgos. Like, she's where you want to be. She knows what she needs. She knows the truth. The truth has come out. It's that kind of a thing, right, where our awareness is very strong. I also feel too, because Justice is associated with the sign of Libra, which is an air element, that Ten of Wands fire element card burns off of air. Does that make sense? They're complementary to one another. So I kind of feel like through the fire, this is going to sound so weird, but I don't know why I'm delivering it this way, but through the fire of the experience of the Ten of Wands that we go through in and out of this month, right, which is this Death card, the redness of the fire of this card here, this transformative process that we're sort of centered on, focused on, and experiencing in the month of November brings about, like, it's like if we are the sword, right, that's being forged in the fire through the month of November, this is where the sword comes out in this beautiful, strong, centered Justice card. She is like the blending of the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles together, and she comes out the other side as an air element, pillared, strong, aware, informed individual, right? Will some things have to be let go, or some awarenesses, some truths come out that require things to die? Yeah, for sure. Especially with that Eight of Wands and that Knave of Cups, that Page of Cups. There's stuff being revealed this month. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's going to be different things for different Virgos, but stuff is going to come true or come to light through that Eight of Wands and through that the Knave, the Page of Cups. There's messages, there's awarenesses, there's changes, movement even. There's opportunities in that Ace of Wands for some of my Virgos to possibly get up and move. Homes or jobs, but these awarenesses are going to bring about this light of truth that we see in this Justice card, right? And she's centered and better for it in the long run. So take heart, Virgo. You guys are in the right place. Allow yourself to be challenged and grown, because it's going to bring about the stability that we see in the Justice card, which is a different form of stability that you guys are not familiar with yet, but you're learning it. Does that make sense? So rest on the stability that you are familiar with, which is that Queen of Pentacles, which is your home element, but also allow that to sort of propel you forward into learning this Justice type of stability. That's the best way I can describe this reading and what I'm feeling for the energy for Virgo. All right, that is your forecast for the month of November. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up sign. If you're watching on YouTube, go over to the Facebook business page and give me a like. Vice versa, if you're watching on Facebook, please go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tune in next month for December to see where the Virgos end up at the end of the year, and then we will have our yearlies happening at the end of December for all of the signs. Tomorrow will be the last of the signs, which is the air signs. All the other ones are up, either on the business page or on the YouTube channel. If you watch them in either place, I would super appreciate if you'd go and give a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. It really helps. I notice I get quite a few views on them, but nobody hits the thumbs up. Either people aren't liking them or they're just not thinking to do that. So I would greatly appreciate that support if you don't mind. Beyond that, have a great month. Have it be as transformative as you need it to be, and allow it to just sort of forge you through the fire to something better and more suited. Because that's definitely what I see. Something that I almost feel like with this Justice card you didn't even realize was possible, Virgo. All right, have a great day, you guys, and I will see you next month. And you can always tune in for the daily forecast on the YouTube channel. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.